Sit back and buckle your seats. We have another edition of the raw and unscripted Dr. Patrick Flynn Show. And we are back in the studio. It's another Tuesday. It's 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm the host of the Dr. Patrick Flynn Show, Ross Allen Skorzewski. Joining me always on this eve of the 4th of July is the one and only ever explosive personality, Dr. Patrick Flynn, the hormone whisperer, the man who can speak to your hormones better than anybody on this earth. Because I've seen it. It's tried, proven, and tested. Dr. Patrick Flynn, how you doing? How was that for an intro?
That was fantastic.
I feel like it's ever evolving. I can always add in these little, statements, these little identifiers, to explain who you are. And
yes.
It is the eve of the 4th of July.
Ah, yes. Blowing up as much stuff as possible.
That's right. And hopefully keeping your appendages on your hands, so you don't walk around like this.
Blowing stuff up makes your testosterone levels go up.
I bet it does.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's manly.
It's one of those things, going out and destroying objects. And I think it's one of those things too, just for a little squirrel moment here, because it's always raw and unscripted, and why not on the eve of 4th of July? Most men, do you remember like when you were a child, you'd buy your ordinary just fireworks, or the black cats, or the lady fingers, and you couldn't just let them be.
Nope.
You always either had to wrap them with more tape to tighten it up, or put
throw them in gasoline.
M80s, M80s.
Oh, we did it all the time.
You did all these things.
It was
Why?
awesome.
Mass destruction.
It's amazing.
It is.
And the guys that are actually listening right now, they're like, yeah, they want to girl a little bit, and women are like, they don't understand.
Yes.
You understand? That's the difference. It's actually things like that get us our testosterone all jacked up. It's a manly thing.
It is a manly thing. And I remember years ago when I used to work for our last week's guest, Pastor Mark Gunger, who's also my father-in-law. I used to do telemarketing for him, and it was called Narrator Tracks Music. And it was right around the 4th of July. And we're in the office of an old church. We kind of renovated. We had studio, and then we had offices. So we started taking firecrackers, and what I would do is I would wrap molding putty around them.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome.
What do you think happens? It becomes part of the wall. It becomes part of the ceiling. It becomes part of your cubicle. And then the best part yet, bottle rockets underneath a closed bathroom door to whomever was on the porcelain throne.
And men love that stuff. Yes. Men love it. You understand?
Yes.
It's like, and the only guys that don't actually aren't real men.
Oh, yeah, now that we're men, yes, I know. So tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day, but let's get on point here. So we had a phenomenal session last week with Mark Gunger. It was our first live guest.
And what I want to point out too is this. Next week we have the legend.
Yes.
The legend, this woman, I have the utmost respect for. She is a legend in her field that way. Dr. Shari Tenpenny that way.
Yes.
I will always call her the legend because what this woman has endured and stood up for, my goodness.
Most people would have run.
They must have run.
Capitulated, absolutely.
Amazing woman.
On the topic of
honored. Vaccines.
I am
so honored to have her on the show and stuff like that. I mean, it's like just talking to this woman, and I've got to know her extremely well. She has a heart of gold, and she is so darn smart. We brought her to Green Bay, and so I think
she's even spoken at our training events.
Yes.
Not just even Green Bay. She's been in Traverse City. And
And I think every doctor on the planet should bring her to the town.
Yes.
That bring her to her town and educate the public. Because if women like that, for example, actually continue to go and speak and give other women and other moms and dads actually the information that now gives them power. For example, it's like, and nobody can deliver it like her.
Yeah.
She is so scientifically based, and her as a practitioner evolved through that process where she recognized the damaging effects.
Yes.
And stuff. She was taught they were good. That she realized they were bad. And so then she started to really dig into the science aspect that way. That's why it's kind of funny. A lot of people say, Doc, you're anti-vaccine. No, I'm not. I'm pro-science. I'm not anti-anything. I'm pro-science. Yes. It's just that you're pro-head in your sand.
Ooh, there you go.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Or regurgitating somebody else's talking
That's
points.
it.
Yep.
It's not a joke. And so the idea is this. So to be able to have Dr. Shari on the show next week is amazing. And here's one thing that I wanted to also point out too. The one thing that Ross and I are doing is we're going to have people, because here's what happens. I'm a big First Amendment person. I don't care what you say. Anybody that's offended, grow up. Okay? Well, I mean that in anything. You saying? I actually fight for people's right to say stuff that I disagree with. I would actually fight for a doctor's right to speak and say vaccines are the best thing on the planet.
Right.
I don't want them muffled. Let's have a great discussion. But see, here's what happens. When you disagree with vaccines, once again, what they do is they go at personal attacks. Mm-hmm. No, let's say it's science. That's why no one will debate us on that. Right. No one in their right mind would ever debate Dr. Shari Tenpenny.
Not in the realms of vaccines.
No, because she would crush you in science. The only thing that you could spew is emotional garbage.
Yes.
That's what most arguments are. That's why I don't get into arguments with people, because it's just emotional BS.
Yep.
And so, and what I wanted to make my point the third time is, if you want us to interview somebody, if you have an idea of somebody that way, post it below.
Yes.
We will reach out to them and interview them on here. Contact Fancy Nancy. We got great people that we're going to be interviewing that way. We're just blessed to start off with Mark Unger.
Yes.
You know, Sam? Because Mark Unger has had massive impact on people's lives. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to bring on people that have the opposite viewpoint of me. Do you say the opposite viewpoint to the wellness way? Why? Because once again, a discussion. I don't
create a healthy dialogue.
I don't think that they will actually agree. I've sent out already a bunch of emails and stuff like that to people that way, and Facebook messages, have gotten nothing back from them yet.
Yes.
Do you say
Yes.
Nothing and stuff. It's kind of funny because it's like, listen, if you disagree with me and you don't like what I say and you have a show, bring me on there.
Right.
You're saying, I'm not going to convince you. I'm just going to share my thoughts and my ideas with you.
The reality is we've gotten ourselves to a place today where people are unable to agree to disagree in a healthy manner without becoming vindictive or malicious. And that's what we see, whether it's politics, anything really, to be honest with you, in society. Someone always has to win and somebody always has to lose. You can't just walk away agreeing to disagree. Even in this whole healthcare debate, or even in the information that we bring, no, you're wrong. Well, let's have a discussion on it. Let's talk about what your concept of wrong is.
And it's also this. So let's even talk about this, because we did a training today.
Yes, we did.
Once again, it's all about the fruit that you produce. Okay? People come to me and say, my doctor said this. And I'm like going, okay, let's step back. Let's take a look at this. Once again, if you look at our emergency care medicine, once again, we now can actually live longer, because if we break an arm, we won't die like happens with a bunch of other countries.
Right.
Yet, from a healthcare standpoint, we are one of the sickest nations by far that exist on this planet. Do you see them? Mm-hmm. So what fruit are they producing? Sick, rotten fruit.
Yes.
You may be able to keep the fruit from dying and keep it alive, but it's rotten on the inside.
Yes.
See, so that's, like I said, when people have a debate about healthcare, they really don't have a healthcare debate. They have a health insurance debate.
Right, exactly. And that's why you want to have that conversation more. You want to start talking about, well, we should have more, conversations about health
care. For example, let me give you an example. I kid you not. Let me cover the name, but I get a ton of emails. Okay, I just popped this up because, once again, Ross and I just wanted to have a discussion with everybody today, and Ross is like, we're just going to talk today. I said, sounds good. And stuff, because once again, this is not a joke. We are always raw and unscripted. We are.
Yes,
when Mark came here yesterday, last week, yesterday. When Mark came here last week, we had no plan. Mark said, what are we going to do? We said, have fun.
Yes.
Because I don't want things staged. I want people to actually, because what happens is this. You want to see what people know and believe, put them on the spot.
Yeah.
Because if they do not, it's like going, okay, what's health? I don't know. Well, then how can you be healthy?
And you ask that question at every one of your hormone connection seminar. What is health? And everybody, for the most part, gets it wrong. They always say the right things, though. That's what I've noticed. Every audience, because you set them up.
Canned answers that their doctor, or that's like even like politics.
Yes.
Canned answers that your political parties give you.
Right. It's like the one thing that you always say, and this is for, I think, across the board, is when you say milk does the body, finish that, and everybody's already programmed because of marketing and messaging and imprinting. They say milk does the body. Good.
And instead of being
like, who told you that?
Yeah, instead of being thinkers, do you know what I'm saying? We actually said, well, my doctor said. You think because your doctor said something, what if your doctor's wrong?
Right.
And so you say, well, how can you say your doctor's wrong? Well, look at the fruits that they're producing. we're one of the sickest nations on the country.
Yes,
by
absolutely.
far. So don't tell me about what they said. And the average American takes over 3 medications. Don't tell me what your doctor said. I don't care.
Yeah.
And the reason why you're even asking me a question is because you already know it doesn't work. You just don't want to admit that you have to do something different.
Yeah, see, that's it right there. Talking about change, ownership, and responsibility.
Yep.
And even in talking about that, you know, we're going into an amazing holiday tomorrow, Doc.
No.
And you've been doing something that's really amazing. And I hope that you guys have been paying attention to the Facebook pages, especially whether it's The Wellness Way or Dr. Patrick Flynn, because they started a campaign that is really all about benefiting you, our audience. And that's a simple campaign that says where? Start somewhere.
Start somewhere.
And really, even with this show and the whole purpose of the show is to start somewhere by changing the way that you hopefully you've been watching for the last year, changing the way that you think. Think. And then also with the Start Somewhere campaign, you've been putting out a lot of great videos for people to actually take ownership of their nutrition or their healthcare journey.
Yeah.
And you did a recent one on something that hopefully, weather permitting, people will be able to do tomorrow, and that is s'mores.
S'mores. And you
that
should
was
have seen,
awesome.
You should have seen the hate mail I got from it.
Oh, come on.
I kid you not. But see, I called it because I understand human behavior.
Yes.
I've always been a people watcher. I've always tried to see how people think. And I knew this. I asked the team, I said, listen, because here's what you do. People love to live in camps and cultures, and then they create catchphrases that way.
Yeah, it's identity.
And see, I tell people, it's like, if I have a mom, that's a single mom, that has a limited budget that way compared to a wealthy person that doesn't, how they take their journey is very different. But see, what happens is you'll have the purist that'll be like, Doc, I love when you talk about don't everything bad. Yeah, that's the ideal situation. Because as a doc, I don't want to see that body go through stress. Absolutely. But what about the mom or the dad that has a job and actually works really hard and has a limited budget? Where do we start?
Yes.
And you should see the cat claws come out from the people who are like, you shouldn't tell them that wait, I want them to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Because here's what happened. It's all life at any stage is always about getting better.
Yes.
I don't care if it's in your career. I don't care if it's in your healthcare. I don't care if your marriage sucks right now. Why do you think Mark Gungor was on here? Because you can start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I believe that every marriage should start with Mark Gungor. Why? Because it's a great start to develop that way.
Mine kind of really did, in all reality,
Yeah, it
because
did.
it started with marrying his daughter.
Yes, but get my point?
It's truth,
So
absolutely.
everything is about start somewhere.
Yes.
Nancy, when she came here, I didn't say, Nancy, get rid of your Mountain Dew and Skittles. No, we didn't.
No, you didn't.
We just consistent, and then what happens is when you're around more people that do that stuff, she just started to test her allergies. She didn't do it the first day she worked here.
No.
How long did it take you to test your allergies, Nancy?
3
3 months.
months. I was gonna say a few months, yeah.
3 months, because she started to reflect and see all these people did herself. This. And see everybody that way. So it's
Even
nice,
Lizzie.
You know what I'm saying?
Yogurt. Remember
Oh,
like when
my
she had those yogurts on her desk?
used
And
to
you're like,
make
you're not
fun
going to
of
eat
her.
that crap, are you? And she's like, what? It's good yogurt. And, and
But
she did
it's
the
that
same thing.
Start somewhere. And
Yes.
see, that's what I said. Every part. That's why people say, Doc, all the personal growth and development. Start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? That's. And here's what happens. I don't care if your life is in the crapper right now. I don't care if your marriage sucks. I don't care if your health sucks. I don't care, for example, your money sucks that way. You can always start somewhere.
Yes.
And the big thing about this way, it starts with you personally.
Yes, it does. And that's the other thing, too, whether it's personal growth and development, relationships with Pastor Mark Gungor, or healthcare with Dr. Patrick Flynn. The reality is most people today wait for somebody else to make the change first.
Sure.
Especially whether it's relationships. Well, I would be so much better if my spouse would just change, or if he would change, or she would. No, it starts with you. The number one question that you have that permeates all of our offices is, what are you doing to what?
Do you need to grow yourself?
Grow yourself. It's not what are you expecting the world to do for you. It's that great, ask not what your country can do for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, well,
What you can do for your
and that
country.
starts in every aspect of life.
Absolutely.
Now watch this. We didn't plan an email, but I just popped mine up really quick because I can multitask. I'm one of the very few men that can. And but here's what happens. It's like, here we go. This woman, and remember, let me say this before I do, because I know what's going to happen the minute I read this. It was my top email. I literally have probably 600 emails I haven't gotten to yet. I had a friend of mine, and I think she's on right now. I had a friend of mine send me a text over the weekend because she got her test results in, and no joke. And she sent me a message, and I had like 300 text messages that weren't read yet, and she was mad because I didn't read it yet. I'm like, girl, relax. I wish I could respond to everybody so quickly. That's why Mitch and Jason and Dr. Jason, Dr. Mitch and Dr. Greg will actually answer questions for people, because I'm not joking, guys. This is the perfect example. Our message is permeating all over the world. Now watch this. I won't use the full name, but this woman's named Maria. Now once again, yes, Maria, I just got this today at a certain, like maybe just a couple hours ago. So yes, it's on my email. And yes, I know you sent me an email a week and I didn't get to it yet. Okay, I understand, okay? So don't send me an email that I didn't read your email yet, but I read this one.
Dig it, Bill.
Maria, I absolutely love your, hormone series. Finally, a refreshing amount of information put together in a very real and understandable way. I think the fact that you don't guess, you test is fantastic. Is that even a word? Fantastic.
Fantastic. It is a word now.
It is a word now. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
New word for us. Fantastic. Yeah. I've heard too many doctors. Now, what does that mean right there? Right there, nobody can take away from Marie's experience. Nobody can take away from her bad experience.
That's right. It's been her journey.
Yes, because here's what happens. Her journey has sucked. Why? Because here's what happened. All the doctors say, we think it could be this, etc. Once again, they're guessing. Ladies, your female body is way too important to guess with. It's way too complex to guess with that way.
Yes.
Okay? It could be. I just started reading the Hormone Connection book, and what an eye-opener for me, because I was recently diagnosed with endometriosis. Here's what happens. What does eye-opener mean? It means it got her to think and approach the same situation differently.
Completely different, yes.
That's it. That's all I want here. When we bring Dr. Tenpenny on, when we bring other guests on, when we bring Mark Garner on here, I'm not trying to force something down your throat. Every one of our wellness-related doctors have a heart. I was talking to Justin Pierce about some of the things clinically that way, and it's kind of funny. And listen to his heart about what he wants to do.
Sure.
Listen to Dr. Shannon. Talking to some other docs, it said, I use their examples because wonderful people. You're saying? Wonderful. I had a great conversation with Dr. Andrew. You're saying? Text him on Friday because he's going to his next level of seeing just crazy clinical results.
Yes.
Okay? And that's the cool thing is this. All these docs are eye-openers themselves. Like I always said, I may be nicknamed the Hormone Whisperer, but we have hormone whisperers all over the country.
Yes.
And eventually all over the world. Okay, here we go. You are so passionate about what you do, but let me explain that. What drives passion in all things? It's usually a struggle you've overcome. Passion comes when you overcome a struggle. Nancy, write that down. You understand? It does, think about that. Because when you overcome something, once again, if something's handed to you, if you have poverty and overcome something that way, those are the best speakers.
Yeah,
if you're an alcoholic and you overcome it, they're the most passionate about it.
Correct.
It doesn't mean that journey was easy.
Right.
It doesn't.
That's a good
point.
point.
Ask any alcoholic that became a non-alcoholic. The end story is great. The journey was a struggle.
Yes.
That's why they're passionate about it, because overcoming struggle creates so much passion.
Yes.
I've overcome so much struggle in my life from every area of having a sick wife, of every area being dead poor. Dead poor. You're saying? I love this because what people don't realize, when I got out of school, I was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Do you understand? I was poor. I was beyond poor. It was, but overcame it. That's why I'm passionate about getting rid of your debt.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And what you do, and women, okay? That's really true. Need more doctors like you. You know what's the reason why I'm passionate about women? Because I see the struggle what women go through.
And you have for
their healthcare is barbaric.
20 years.
20 years of watching wonderful, amazing women sit across from me and beg, plead, cry, say, I wish I could have a baby. I wish actually I could have sex and it not freaking hurt. Mm-hmm. I wish, for example, that my husband would understand I'm not him. I'm starting to sweat.
Well, this is kind of the rant that you've been on all day today.
You've
been on fire.
I've been on control mode like crazy. I'm a fun control. Forget fun today. It's all about control.
It's all about control.
But watching them suffer and watching them and giving them a chance to overcome and giving them direction, you bet your butt I'm passionate about it that way. And so I said, and the reason why is because it's so much harder for women to overcome health challenges than the men any day. And I'm not pandering to women, because you know why, women? We are destroying men.
Yes.
We are destroying men. That's why you talk about blowing crap up. That's a man.
That's right.
Encourage your man to blow stuff up. Because it makes him a man.
Yes.
Do you understand? You don't want a girly man. We were talking about standard training. Women are attracted to strong men. Women are not attracted to wussy guys. And for all three of you that are gonna say, no, I like a sensitive guy, then you're not letting him become who he wants.
That's good.
Testosterone does not make him.
You can let your man play with Barbies on the 4th of July as long as he's strapping explosives to them.
Aim to it, throwing it in the gasoline, and watching the freaking head blow up. That's the way a man plays with a Barbie.
A real man.
all the stats come there laughing their butt off. Oh,
That's
why do
awesome.
people watch
My
your
husband plays
show?
with dolls. Yeah, once a year on the 4th of July.
He blows the crap
them
out
up.
of them. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. Let's go on a little farther.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, this is awesome. 3 years ago, I was working out 5 to 6 days a week at a very high intensity. When I saw a YouTube video where you mentioned that women should not work out like this, a light bulb immediately went off. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with inguinal hernia. She was stressing her body out
Yeah.
to the point she destroyed it. And I couldn't work out anymore, and the pain was pretty bad. I finally had surgery in April. It turned out a tumor caused the endometriosis. Well, see, it developed into a tumor, which is really crazy. The tumor was removed, and I currently am pain-free. However, my doctor wanted to put me on the pill. Okay, that's what happens. Didn't test or anything. Now, here's what happens. Let's give the doctors a little credit here. We've created a medical system, a fire department system, that tumor could have killed her.
Sure.
Let's say it could have killed her. Don't equate that with being healthy.
That's right.
Because if all they do is remove the tumor, they've extended her life, but she's still rotten on the inside.
Yes.
She's still sick on the inside. She's still gonna go through this, but here's what the deal is. You're cancer-free. No, you're not.
you're not.
You're tumor-free. You're
Yes.
still sick. You're still sick, and they mislead women. They mislead women. And it comes back because the house continues to rot, and it's worse than it was a year or two later.
That's
And
right.
cancer comes back at an all-time high, and they're so freaking surprised because the thinking is wrong. I'm not saying don't have the tumor removed. God bless those amazing doctors that remove that tumor.
Right.
God bless you. I love you. I love all of the surgeons over at Aurora that do that kind of stuff and pervade all these medical establishments. But stop everything else you're doing.
Yeah, it's like stay in your lane.
That's right. Because now they want to put her on a pill, which causes cancer. Who said so? The pill does. Okay, here we go. Okay, I could not believe that the pill was their only answer to my new diagnosis. Ladies, let me tell you this way. The pill is the answer for every hormonal problem for a woman.
Because it's what,
I'm
though?
crazy.
It's an endocrine.
It's endocrine disruptor. It's an endocrine
There you go.
disruptor. Heck, I believe that one of the major reasons why we have transgender and stuff today is because of all the endocrine disruption. Do you know how I know? Let me give you my experience that none of you guys can ever argue with it or take it away. I've had several boys and young ladies that were pubescent, okay? Let me give you an example. Let me give you a little comment out there. A little boy and a little girl can't play with dolls. A little boy that plays with dolls is not gonna become gay just because he's playing with dolls.
There you go.
Do you understand? Because why? Their hormones are relatively the same. That's why you can't judge a young person how they feel.
Right.
Yet they want to give testosterone blockers to little boys that actually play with girls. Play with dolls. Not a joke. It's psychotic out there. You should read the stuff they're trying to do, okay? But on the flip side, these pubescent kids, 18, 19, 20 years old, that came in because their parents were very saddened that they were going through this way. And once again, instead of recognizing that something's wrong, what do most political parties want to do today? No, one political party. Pander to their illness.
Right. Create
Pander
an
to
equal
their
playing
illness.
field.
And every child, I still call them children because once again, they were in their early teens and, well, actually one was 20 years old, for example. As they got help and got their hormones back normal, lo and behold, they thought they were the sex that they were born. Guess what?
Confusion leads,
None of you
yes.
guys can take that experience away. None. None. Well, doc, what research? I tested them, I got them normal, they went back to normal. There's your research. Do you understand? Well, it's just one case. Really? They just say accept it instead of studying it. Do you understand? And make excuses.
Yes.
See, so their pill is the answer for everything. It's an scrubber. It also had fibroid surgery in 2012. Once again, a hormonal problem. Here's one thing. After some thought, I love that. She's thinking, Maria's thinking,
Yes.
and disappointment in my doctors. I was determined to find out why this is happening to me and what is the root cause to all my health issues. I did a ton of research online and came across the Dutch test. Because why? She watched her videos,
Yep.
she saw a Dutch
We
test.
talk about it a lot.
When I received my tests, I started looking for a practitioner who could help me and understand this. No one could. Then I found the Wellness Way.
Dun, da, da, da.
You understand? But you notice that there's no Wellness Way doctors in New York. I was wondering if you could look at my attached results, and she sent them to me. And yes, I will look at them, okay? But think about this. Doctors, if you are watching this right now, you have to be a freaking moron not to want to be a Wellness Way.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
No, that's a good thing because even to kind of add into that, we were down just weeks back, down with Dr. Dan Yachter of Elevation Health.
Yeah.
Because, and he had one of the most prolific chiropractic offices, seeing 2,000
in the world.
Patients a week for adjustments. As soon as you reached out, as they reached out to you, and you started helping his wife. He said, because we were sitting at the table, Fancy Nancy, myself, you, we were out for dinner post the event. And he's like, how could I not want to learn this approach that brings about such revolutionary clinical results?
Well,
how could I not?
Look what she said right here. Thank you for starting a hormone revolution.
Yeah, it's huge.
Guys, here's what happens. We're not starting a hormone revolution. You know what we're doing? All we're getting people to do is think differently. And when you get cultures to think differently, they think it's revolutionary.
Yes.
Do you understand? They do, because it's a different way of thinking. Want to change your life, change your thinking in every area, from your marriage to your health to your politics, everything that way. You will always change your thinking. That's the start of everything.
Yes.
That I don't teach my girls, for example, to follow the rules. I actually, we had some fun because Faith had some friends over, and they're young teenagers, and I always teach my girls. I said, we called it the Book of Patrick. Chapter 17, verse 7. I said, rules are made to be broken, because here's what happens, guys. The majority of people that are making up the rules actually have special interests. They do. They do. It's all about special interests that way. They want control of your life. What we teach you is you can take it back control.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And that's the sad part, is they want control.
Yep.
Remember, personal responsibility. Don't hand control over to your doctor. That's why people go, Doc, I'm frustrated because my pediatrician says if I don't vaccinate, they're gonna call CPS. Do you understand? Why are you seeing a pediatrician?
Right.
Don't give them control. You're the parent.
Yes.
Do you understand? Do your research.
Yeah.
See, so it's not a revolution there. It's actually a different way of thinking. I will always teach my girls to think. I will always teach my girls to process things that way. Because when you start thinking, you start to see progress.
Yes, that's huge.
Okay.
And, and really, I just want to take 1 second here, because I know with having Pastor Mark here last week, we had a lot of first-time visitors that actually popped on and watched us, and maybe it was new for you. And I know that there's some of you who are joining us today, and you're continuing to dive into our world as we do this show. I just want to thank you once again for all of you who are coming. And I know we go off on our, these rants, if you will, passionate rants, but thank you so much for coming and joining us and continuing to give us the platform to be able to speak into your life. So I just wanted to acknowledge that real quick here as I'm going through a lot of these comments and seeing people here, and they're actually loving what we're talking about again, or you're talking about.
But we just covered this. Once again, our team is the big body of people.
Yeah.
The right hand needs the left hand. The right eye needs the left eye. The right foot needs the left foot. You're saying?
It's like the hokey pokey.
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Put your right foot in, put your left foot out, and shake it all about.
And that's the thing. And so what's permeating now is we're sharing how we think, and it keeps on getting bigger.
Yes.
It keeps on getting bigger. This is not a revolution.
Yep.
It's actually teaching people how to think. Dr. Shari Tenpenny next week will blow your mind away, and she'll teach you how to think. Here's the one thing that I got to tell you, though. When you first are brought and challenged to think, the first thing that everybody responds, this is human behavior, with negative emotion.
Yes, absolutely.
They'll attack because they don't want to change. Do you see what I'm saying? Because why? Because you've been doing it the same way all your life. Yeah, how's it working for you?
That's right. That's right.
How's it working for you? How are all these things? Mark gets hate mail.
Oh, absolutely. He does.
Dr. Tenpenny gets probably more hate mail than anybody I know. I get hate mail. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because all we're trying to do, for example, is teach people to think. See, a lot what your government wants to do, that's why
tell you how it is.
And then force you to do it.
Force you to do it, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Doctors are always trying to force you to do things. Nobody has the right to force you to do anything that way.
Not at all.
Not at all. Remember,
just like next week, you don't have to watch the show, but I encourage you to do so.
Sure.
Tell people about it, especially when it comes to the issue of vaccines.
Vaccines.
Absolutely.
We have one of the top experts in the world on the show. So once again, if you know somebody that you want us to interview, send us right below.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, if you know a wonderful doc, if you know a wonderful practitioner, if you know a speaker, if you know a great company, some of that. Once again, because we are just trying to bring you information so now you can make your choices that way. I will never tell you what to think.
That's right.
You're saying, but I will bring it to you.
Yeah, and you might bring it in a way that is very uncomfortable, but then again, once again, it's what you do with it.
That's right.
time to go to a place of action. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you to go out and have an amazing day tomorrow. Men, blow stuff up. Get that testosterone coursing through your veins. Women, let him do so. Keep the kids clear. Maybe they can be by his side a little bit. I don't know, but you go do the same thing. I will. I love you, brother.
Love you.
Thank you. We'll see you next Tuesday.